Yes, prediction.
Are you ready? I think I was born ready.
Obviously, you're a little, aggravated by the line of questioning regarding Canelo.
I don't want to touch this, dude. It's so bad, I don't want to touch his name.
I'm working on feeling the art of humbleness. Hey, you being with me, that's the reason why I'm crying, because I'm not that person no more. And I miss him. Because sometimes I feel like a bitch. I don't want that person to come out, because when he comes out, hell is coming with him. And it's not funny at all. It sounds cool, like I'm a tough guy. It's just I hate that I'm scared of it.
It would be awesome to, being a great war. Maybe we would have Mexican.
Let's go. Way
I have to put the joke.
No, hey.
Thank you for playing, man. I appreciate
Good
you.
timing, man.
Can't put predictions, man, but I definitely don't want to leave it to the judges.
Muy buenos días, familia. Good morning, everyone. We are here once again, Sunday recap and a very important weekend. What happened last night? We're going to break it down like it is, like it should be. We are Long Live Boxing EnVivo podcast. Manny, siempre en vivo. Marrero.
Sean El Gringo Hicksa.
Hopper.
We got a very exciting Hopper here in the house tonight. Mexico, la raza, viva la raza, viva Mexico, cabrones. He's got a lot to say about what happened last night, so we are going to, as usually, break it down like it is, like it should be.
Como debe de ser.
Ya lo sabe.
Let's get to it.
Ain't nothing café mano para levantar.
Little Gator Light, man. Recover a little bit.
Let's get it going. Get hydrated, right? Motivated, hydrated, and whoa. So let's get to it, man. It was a trilogy. It was a fight. It was boxing. We had
Canelo
to pay for it. It was Canelo week, Canelo day. So there was a lot of things going on. As usual, we got hot and heavy in our own personal back and forth chat, which is great. We care to share that with you guys today. Thank you guys for joining us this morning on another beautiful Sunday. We're so excited to you guys start your day with us. So let's get to it, man. Our brother Hopper is draped in the beautiful colors of Mexico. What's your thoughts, brother? First of all, did you actually see the fight sober?
Yes, I did. No, actually, I didn't start drinking until about 9 at night because I was hungover from Friday night. So
okay.
I took a nap before I went to my friends to go watch it. But I was sober. I was very sober. Later in the night, of course, I wasn't. But that's how it goes.
Yep. So what was your thoughts on the fight overall, kind of going into it? I know that we kind of touched on as far as like it's the fight that we didn't know we needed, kind of. It's coming after a loss. Triple G came after one of his more impressive wins, but he's longer in the tooth. He's older now. So there's a lot of different feelings kind of going into it. And it is a trilogy, and there actually is a rivalry. But what did you think, and how did it play out for you?
All right. Well, you touched on it a little bit. You know how we have our group message, and it got a little hot afterwards after the fight. Let's not bury the lead here. Because I want you guys to explain to me how you guys saw Triple G win in 5 to 6 rounds, because it flabbergasted me. I was shocked to read that you guys think he won that many rounds. I thought it was a pretty boring fight. I thought Canelo was clearly in his prime, superior at this point in their careers. Triple G looked to be in survival mode from the very beginning, took zero risks, didn't press any action, didn't attack the body, didn't really do anything of the Triple G things that we're accustomed to seeing. A lot of it is because Canelo right now is peaking. And Triple G had to move up to the 168 pounds. You know, we can come up with all these myriad of excuses for him. But the fact of the matter is he didn't really show up to fight last night, man. It felt at times like Canelo was carrying him a bit, like a glorified sparring session, with the way Triple G was refusing to engage. Canelo was trying to set traps. Canelo even stayed on the ropes for a while, like towards the end of the fight, just to try to get Triple G to engage. And he was refusing to fight. I felt a little disappointed in that regard because these two guys blessed us with 2 incredible high-level elite fights, and I was hoping the third would come down to that. And I didn't see it close at all. This was a blowout. The fight was pretty much over after 8 rounds, 8 rounds to nothing early on. I had it 10 rounds to 2, and that's being generous. Like, I struggled to give Triple G any round because his action was just not sustained. He'd had maybe a burst here, a 10-second burst there, but it was a very easy fight to score. And what blew my mind was the scorecards when they were announced. It's crazy how the most clear fight probably resulted in the worst scorecards of the 3 fights. 115, 113, 116, 114. They almost robbed Canelo out of this fight, which was crazy. So no, this was a little bit of a letdown. This was pretty much just Canelo dominating the whole fight, Triple G refusing to engage, and that was my take of it. I felt a little disappointed that Triple G didn't really want to go out on his shield like I was expecting him to.
Yeah, that's fair. Yeah, as far as like how I scored, rewatching the fight, I had it 8-4. I could see 9-3. And for me, I felt like, Canelo was clearly in control, the hand speed. It didn't seem like he was going to the body as much as I expected. Triple G wasn't engaging. He was fighting off the back foot. By the time he did try to press, it seemed like the 6th round, it almost felt like to me that there was some sort of a shift where there was an adjustment made. Yeah, Canelo also did take his foot off the gas like around the 6th round. And that's where I felt like it got more.
Starting 8th round, Canelo just pulled back. He pulled back for whatever reason.
It felt like he got more competitive. Like, so I never at no point felt like, Triple G won, but I felt like it went from a one-sided fight to a competitive fight where you could argue rounds. So 8-4, 9-3 is kind of where I see it. But as far as like the engagement, I do feel like there was times where Triple G did want to exchange. Like the best round I thought he had was the 9th round.
The 9th round.
Yeah, where he had Canelo on the ropes for a little bit. But overall, the fight felt like what it was, a fight that happened 4 years too late. What's your thoughts, Manny?
I agree. I mean, first of all, we saw Canelo at his best the first 8 rounds. That's it. I mean, and when you talk about in his prime, Canelo, I mean, right now, for me, he didn't show me that. I thought when you're talking about Canelo in his prime, the best of Canelo we've ever seen, for me, it would have been a completely annihilation, completely destruction, even knocking him down. No one's ever done that to Triple G, and I get it. And I guess he was in the best shape he could be at his age to try to finish this beef once and for all, and did it last night. Disappointed in Triple G not starting the foot in the gas pedal right from the get-go. We do see him in the past. He was a little slow starter, but you cannot do that to Canelo. And my brother Hopper described it best. Canelo was doing everything possible. He was trying to, engage with them, do some of the things to see what can Triple G do. But after the 8th round, at the 8th round, that's where we see Canelo kind of pull back. Why was it? Is it because, Canelo is tending nowadays to start gassing later on? Is it because I'm taking a round break because I know I have this guy beaten already for the first 7 rounds? It was 7-0 in mark cards regardless. I don't think I'd see. I think maybe 2nd round was very iffy, but when you go back and watch again, Canelo did everything he had to do to win that 2nd round. When it comes to the 8th round, I gave it to Triple G. I watched it again. And Triple G started to do the things that we needed to do. Canelo, all he did was just stand there, move around a little bit. I don't know if he wanted to at least let him know, hey, I'm giving you this round so that way you feel like you're in the fight. I mean, I don't think that ever happens, but I think maybe Canelo wanted him to engage more, and that's when things started. 9th round, that's the best round that Triple G had. 10th round, that was Triple G. 11th round, that was Triple G. 12 rounds, watched it again a little bit, and it could go either way. I could say, you know what, last night I said Triple G. I could probably change my mind and do it to Canelo, but right now, honestly, 9-3 or 8-4, it would the score. That is still completely easy fight for Canelo. I don't know why you're complaining that, he got robbed, he got stole. Yeah, maybe because you're watching a scorecard that's given, 6 rounds to Triple G. 5 rounds to Triple G. Right? It's that 2nd round, right? And then, you feel like Canelo kind of like really ran through it. So what the judges were looking at, we don't know. But the reality is I was very disappointed. But when I sit back and I think, guys, is like, listen, this is all Triple G could do. At least the guy's still at a level in where he could contend. He didn't get knocked out. He went with his, head high, and then he performed the best that he could at a guy that I don't think he's at his prime. I don't think this is the best performance in Canelo. And I'm sorry if you're out there saying this is the best performance fucking ever with Canelo, you are nuts. You are cuckoo in your head, because this was not. It was a great display of boxing. It was great to see Canelo coming back after the loss of the ball, and it's shaking things up, not at the 168, but whatever happens afterwards. Someone may move up from 160 to 168. He'll may go to 160 and settle things with Benavidez, or maybe avenge that loss if Gilberto Ramirez gets to fight Bivol, loses. This is what Canelo wants, and Canelo gets what Canelo wants, and that's the bottom line. But I just don't think this was the best performance. I wanted to see a little bit more. He showed compassion with Triple G. All that BS and bullshit you talked about in the press conference, don't show mercy out here. You were talking about, Cobra Kai. Strike first, no mercy, man. That's what I wanted to see.
What?
And this fight, yes,
boy.
at the end of the fight, I love the fact that is this settle? And of course, Triple G has to say, you know what? We got that settled. And I love me Canelo now. And it has to be, right? This is a British sport. You
36 rounds, bro. Once you fight somebody 36 rounds, you're going to have some love.
Should have, or would have. This is it for Triple G. Great fight. Another good trilogy. Not the best, right? And you said it perfectly. First and second fights, they were amazing fights. But the third one, a little bit too
flat.
Than what we wanted to see.
Yeah, and you're right, Manny. I'll give you that much, bro. It's hard for me to assess Canelo's performance just simply because of Triple G's unwillingness to engage. It's really hard to really assess how it was a clear dominant victory for Canelo, but it's hard to give him too much props because it felt at times Triple G aged overnight against a guy like this at this level. Yeah. Triple G would still be pretty good against a whole lot of other guys.
Oh yeah.
But when you're fighting somebody like Canelo, who's a gym rat, who's active as much as he is, who's constantly working on his craft, you're gonna look like this, man. And I think Canelo did what he had to do. He took care of business, ended the trilogy. I love the fact that once the fight was over, they embraced each other. Yes, they hugged each other. They talked. Man, I know we want to see bad blood. We want to see violence and everything. But at the end of the day, these are two men, grown warriors. I love the respect that they showed to each other. They looked like they had a pretty cool conversation in there because they were embraced for a good 15 seconds. Just hey cabron, you're good. It has to happen. Man. Once the fight is over, these guys they're not going to be the best of friends, but they're cool.
Things are settled in the ring.
You just fought a guy 36 rounds. You just went with him, So, but no, Canelo did what he had to do. I'm more disappointed in Triple G. He had that old man body going, man, a little flabby in the midsection. So, but now it's funny, bro. I will say this though, how the narrative changes because it's Canelo. Now all of a sudden Triple G is old. He's blah blah blah.
No, yeah, I know that, and I hate people that
knocked out a 40-year-old. But before the fight, his narrative is that's.
But funny. You actually wanted Triple G to win, right? And he's old now. I mean, I'm saying people.
Me?
No. I'm saying people. Yeah,
people
started talking about.
People were thinking,
Triple G to win, and he lost, and now they're saying, because he's aged.
Yeah, now he's not. Hey,
Triple G can beat anyone at 160.
Yes,
bring Boo Boo.
Agreed.
Bring Charlo. Bring anyone. He can still give a really good fight to any of those guys out there.
No,
and here's the funny thing. Let me tell you a quick story. Last night, I was watching the fight with Canelo haters, Triple G fans. This guy had his Triple G shirt on, and boy, their tone changed real quick. At the end of the fight, they were saying, "Why is Canelo fighting old guys for?" but before the fight started, they were talking trash and everything, and then it was
that's you can't win one, right?
Kind of part of being a fan. Well, that's what we talked about before on the last show. It's one of those, in a lot of ways, you can't win situation for Canelo. Honestly,
damn if you do.
I mean, damn if you do, damn if you don't. That's why I made the comment. And Shout out to me. I said that if Canelo doesn't get the stoppage, he's not gonna get the full credit. And I think even with that, he's not gonna get the full credit. But
even if you would have stopped him, they would have said, "Oh, he knocked out a 40-year-old."
Right. So let's get to these comments and we'll take a closer look at the numbers. Danny PR78, thanks for joining us. Hello, Triple G looked his age last night. Was Canelo much better or Triple G much older?
Probably both. I would say combination of both.
I say combination of both. I say Canelo has, and we talked about it before, the guy that has had improved on all around since the last fight they fought 4 years ago, that was Canelo. Canelo, it's on the upside. Triple G has been on the downside. The thing about it is he still has that form and that conditioning and that commitment to the sports that makes things a little bit difficult for any other boxer out there.
Absolutely. So agree with that. So ascension, dissension for the fighters going in different directions. And we saw they met in the middle for a third fight that, should have happened 4 years ago. Canelo fighting Triple G. Shout out to Kano Local Sports. Saludos, brother. Steven Ruiz, shout out, brother. Can't wait for it either. Glad you're joining us. Remy in the house, man. Remy gave 9, 11, and 9, 10, and 11.
That's right.
That's fair.
That's fair.
All right, so should Triple G retire or try to unify 160?
Unify 160. I think there's still big fish for him to fry at 160 pounds, but stay away from Canelo. Stay away from 168 pounds. Back to 160. I
think it was just because the beef for that, and even we all know that Canelo didn't really want this fight. I mean, the fight was made because the fans wanted to see this fight. So I don't want to see any fans complaining about that. Why did Canelo have to fight Triple G? Why didn't he fight anyone else? The fans wanted to see this, and the fans got what the fans wanted. So all right, not complaining.
We'll get to that because I don't know. There's actually a lot of conversation about if the fans wanted this or not.
But the majority, you had a lot of Triple G fans. The problem is too late.
Ringo's Triple G fan right here.
I am.
I mean, I enjoy Triple G. I'm not a huge fan of neither or both, but I enjoyed both.
I'm in better shape with Triple G. Not really. All right, Remy. Canelo was doing great until the 8th round. Then I stopped tweeting how good what the fight was. Real talk. Well, I think it was a combination of a game plan adjustment. You can make an argument that, and we touched on this before. Our brother Hopper mentioned that Canelo's had issues with his hands before, and he mentioned his hands.
And he heard it. We could talk about that too. I heard his injury, but look, my boy, Jaime, All Access Elite. The chapter has been closed. Is Triple G a Hall of Famer? Of course he is. Yes. First ballot, no doubt.
He will be the only guy that remained the majority of his career at the 160. Is that
He's still a Hall of Famer, though. First ballot. I give him.
Hey, he moved out of 160 for one fight. Give it up. Give it up, guys. Come on.
I mean, just the fact that you can, you had the trilogy, the 160, and that you can make the argument and a legitimate claim that he could go undisputed at 160. Like literally, I think that he can be at this age. He can fight Jaime Munguia, Charlo, and Boo Boo.
He could beat them.
Would he be a lot better? All right, if the fight would have been at 160 and Canelo would have to drop down, would Triple G be a lot better, faster, quicker reaction?
Natural.
He would have been better. But you know what? I saw something, and I'll go ahead and say it. Jaime, you may disagree because I know you're a Triple G supporter as well. I felt like the response that Triple G gave at the end, where he was like the most boisterous and happy. Hey guys, don't forget, guys, I'm still champion, guys. The 160 guys.
160.
He still has his belts, and I think he can rest easy knowing that that's legacy. That aspect of his legacy is still intact. He moved up. He chased greatness. It didn't work out.
Same as Canelo.
Man, he shouldn't be
175, lost, but I still got my undisputed 168. Same concept.
The same thing as Same thing as Canelo. Nah, Triple G still has some good fights in him, man. I think it's just in there with hey, for all the hate Canelo gets, man, you got to give him his props. He does have some kind of skills. I'm sure Jaime would at least give him that much. But yeah, supposedly early reports say that Canelo has a TFCC tear. It's cartilage in the wrist. And it's supposedly he's had it for a while now. So he might need surgery. He might be out for a while, guys. We might not see him fight in May.
And there's really nothing wrong with that. I like for him to assess and put the best game plan, regardless of what people think. and they dismiss him at times, he's important for boxing because he puts us on the forefront. You know, he makes us.
The mainstream media was picking up on it yesterday. That's when you know social media. If mainstream like ESPN, all those other outlets are talking about you as a boxer,
right?
You've done something well, man. Triple G versus Munguia, Triple G versus Charlo, Triple G versus Andrade. Yeah, Triple G. Yes. I would favor Triple G in all those fights except against Boo Boo. Probably even against Boo Boo. Probably.
I would still.
Yeah, I'd probably favor him, but it'd probably be very difficult.
If he gets a much better performance than he did last night with Canelo, I would see Triple G. He just needs to get things going a little bit faster. And especially a Boo Boo take the lead on that. But any of those fights interest me. So that's why for me right now, I really don't think that Triple G needs to retire. He may have one more. At the most, maybe 2 more fights. But if he loses the next one, loses the belts, I think he has to be done.
And that's the thing we got to realize that, we are fans, but this is a business. Like the way he responded at the end and how, maybe I'm reading too much into a moment, how excited he said that I'm still the champion at 160, guys. Told me, like, I just tried to survive. I got a great payday.
I got
$20 million plus. How does that fit in your bank account?
And I'm going back to 160, and I'm gonna do my thing, and I'm still very, very relevant.
So he lost, but he won. So it's lost.
So there's another thing.
Give me just 1 million out of that 20.
Shout out to my brother Jimmy Boo, Jaime. I agree, but G would have trouble with Gennadiy. They're never going to fight, man.
No, not Gennadiy.
They're not going to feed him to Gennadiy.
Neither Gennadiy, neither David
Boo
Morrell.
Not even trying to fight that guy. Nobody's trying to fight that dude.
Neither David Morrell either would even be in the mix. And
then you know what though? This might be a blessing in disguise at Canelo. Hey, take your time off, recover, fully recover while the landscape in boxing sorts itself out. We need those PBC guys to fight each other. We need Benavidez, Charlo plan. We need some kind of combination. There's no reason why none of those fights haven't happened yet. We still have Boo Boo in there in the mix somehow. But hopefully the landscape becomes a little clearer and a true number one results out of this when Canelo comes ready to come back.
All right, let's go ahead and take a quick look at the numbers real quick.
I cannot believe my eyes.
Shout out to South Sudan for that beautiful melody. All right, so looking there, Nevada State Athletic Commission. So our brother
donkey
test by the scorecard. We want to know what you guys think. So David Moretti.
Moretti.
At 116, 112. And looking at anything that jumps out at you, brother, as far as
that's fine. I think 16, 112, it's not bad. 115, 113, that's where when Hopper started talking earlier, I think that's a little bit of an insult because you're just talking about, 5 rounds. Nah.
4 or 5. 5 rounds. That's crazy. Yeah, Steve Weisfeld, David Slater. I don't know, man. I think they probably, boxing. I think they had these scorecards already previously filled out the day before, just to keep the interest in, hey, let's keep it close, guys. But they almost robbed Canelo, which is hilarious. One more round and it would have been a draw. This is crazy.
The rounds that were difficult for me to score were, I felt 1 was difficult. Because I don't think there was a lot of action. It's kind of like a fill out round. It definitely wasn't round 25. And then 7 was a little difficult, but I felt like there was a real good uppercut landed by Canelo that really kind of set the tone.
But the first round too, though. The first round was a round that I was like, let me take a quick look. But for me, it was Canelo, and not to mention, look at that David Sutherland. He gave that first round to Triple G, and then he did, all the way down to the 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. Honestly, I think after the 4 rounds out of the last 5 rounds, that was 4 of them were from Triple G. I don't think Triple G did anything in the first 8 rounds, and we talked about it.
He was coasting the first 8 rounds. I think that might have been his game plan because it's not a big secret that Canelo kind of in those rounds 7, 8, 9 is when he usually lets his foot off the gas a little bit, save some energy for the championship round. So I think maybe that was, I don't know if it was a wise strategy, but it looked like that's what he was doing.
No, that definitely seemed to be his strategy. So let's take a look at the breakdown of the numbers, not just the judge.
I cannot believe my eyes.
South Sudan in the house, man. That's what's up. Okay, let's take a look at this CompuBox, shall we? So this breaks it down as far as like the numbers. And so we know that numbers don't lie, but they don't tell the whole story. So the number that we look at if you look at the breakdown per the round and the totals, I mean, it's separated by 10 punches. So you're like, okay, well, maybe not so much. Look at the percentages of what you really want to see there. And our brother always likes to go to the power punch. And why is the power punch, again, for those that don't always listen to us every week, even though they should, Hopper, why is the power punch differential so important at 12%? Why does that matter to you?
Because power is the greatest equalizer in sports, the greatest deodorant. If you're hovering around 40 to 50% of your power punches, yeah, you're doing something right. You put in some work. And Canelo was right at 39, 40%.
Yeah.
Not bad, man.
Yeah, and not bad for Triple G at 27, but that differential, you can see that, and it does make up the difference to help you understand, okay, if there's only 10 punch difference in the overall total, where is the difference as far as like the measure of success? The power punches, more power was landed, even though there was more jabs landed, but for a percentage of 21% for Triple G, that is not where he needs to be.
No, and then I'm kind of surprised they credit him with that many power punches, because it felt like Triple G wasn't sitting on his punches at all. It's like he wasn't committing to them. Like he was concerned about what was gonna come back at him. You know, it seemed like he was more ready to defend than actually throw a hard, meaningful punch, if that makes sense.
No, definitely. So it was interesting to kind of take a look at these numbers and take a step back.
And a lot of those jabs too, a lot of those jabs from Triple G, I felt were of the pity pat nature, not necessarily the power jabs. They were more like feeler jabs, just to throw, just to try to keep him at bay a little bit.
No, definitely good call out to get that distance. I hear you, brother, for sure. All right, so let's go ahead and take a look. We got some more comments in there.
Manny,
JC, hey, yo, that's Diana Ugas, if you're wondering. Shout out to her for just being alive. All right, so yeah, here you go. Remy, I'm a GGG fan. Come on, guys. GGG. Come on, guys. Still champ at 160, guys. Gennadiy is a 160 WBO champ. So if GGG wants to be undisputed 160, he would have to fight him. Hey, brother, I'm not.
Yeah.
I understand that.
I understand the process.
It's just a matter of if it's good for Triple G right now. If it makes sense for him.
Yeah, and if he takes that fight, wow, that would be awesome. Right? That would be awesome. That would be awesome. That would be unbelievable. So let's hope that. Let's go ahead and say it right here, Jaime. If that fight happens, you and I are both going to be at that fight. How about that? Front row, flags. It's going to be a freaking Kazakhstan extravaganza. JC in the house. What's up, brother? Shout out to you, man. Steven Ruiz, laughing my ass off. Shout out to South Sudan. Yeah, and the scorecards were all LLL payback.
I honestly,
little payback.
Yeah, I honestly think that the best fight, the next fight
Bruce.
for Triple G, if he doesn't retire, for me, in my eyes, what I would like to see is Triple G and David Morrell. I'm not saying that Triple G will be sort of like a gatekeeper, but I think that right now people are still wanting to see what David Morrell can do. And if he needs to come down to the 160 and test the waters down there, if he can do so,
right?
I mean, and get out of that Reggie and go to a real champion.
You know what I would like to see him? Supposedly this was his last fight with DAZN. That's not a bad option, fighting with Morrell. But supposedly he's out of the contract now with DAZN.
Right.
So the PBC guys could probably realistically be in the mix now.
Yep.
I want to see him fight Charlo.
That's another one. That's another
PBC guy. I think Triple G and Jermall Charlo would be fire. It would sell, and now it's probably more doable because of the no longer the contract bound to DAZN. I think Triple G could make his way over across the street, get paid handsomely, because Uncle Al will pay. If it's a name like Triple G or Canelo, he will.
I don't think he'll pay him more than $20 million.
He won't. He'll make it worth his while. I should say that. Let me rephrase that.
When a boxer reaches the $20 million payday, remember,
that's just against Canelo, though.
Oscar De La Hoya started this $20 million. Tito Trinidad got part of that $20 million.
You got to take it onto the equation, though. Canelo was there. That's where the money was coming from.
Well, once they get there, it's very difficult to go back because you have the Canelo.
I get what you're saying. But I think realistically, he understands business sense. The Canelo fight, it was always going to be a moneymaker fight. So that's that. You got to take that into account. And the fight with Jermall Charlo, it would still bring in a significant amount of money. I think, in my opinion.
No, that's a great point. And I think that says a lot in a testament to Triple G and your thoughts, because even though you weren't impressed with his performance as far as what you expected, would you guys, and shout out to you guys, be surprised if he said, let's say he announced retirement? Would that shock you guys?
Oh, I would be disappointed. I would be disappointed. I would.
I would. Disappointed?
Yeah. I mean, I'm giving him crap for this one fight at a division he didn't belong to against someone like a Canelo. No, man, I'm not gonna knock him too bad for you. And I'm not gonna all of a sudden like everybody. Oh, he's old. No. It's just no. Too many factors were up against Triple G, and look at me making excuses for Triple G, huh? Well, anyways,
this is a great show. This is a great show.
I think you're right. I think for me, it depends though. If a boxer doesn't have it, doesn't have it. That's it. True. And if he's taking his time off and moving on with a nice payday, hey, thank you, Triple G, for all the action you've given us. I mean, Triple G, when he was at his prime, everyone was stuck to their TV. That's why he gained a lot of the respect from the fans. That's why a lot of fans yesterday, they were still rooting for him, and they believed that he had an opportunity to win. However, if we want to be able to see more action and see what Triple G is all about, the Charlo fight is the one that makes sense right now. And that's the fight that could actually bring a lot of money. And like you said, while Canelo is sitting down, not only doing surgery if he needs to, but also resting, because I believe Canelo needs to take a little bit of a layoff, man. He's been on the road for the last couple of years, giving us a lot of fights until the landscape is settled to see what's going to happen in the 160. No one else is 168 other than if he goes Morel, but the 160, someone will move up and wants to cash, which you and I both know that the Charlos want to cash. Charlo wants to cash. Charlo wants to be that spotlight. Then that will be a great fight, GGG Charlo, and eventually next year, possibly Canelo can squeeze him.
You put it in May because Canelo's probably not going to fight for a while. You put that fight in May.
If he does the surgery now, maybe September next year again.
Yeah, he'll probably be back September. But I can't see him fighting
not May as usual.
So somebody's gonna have to take that card.
So yeah, man, this is unexpected. So like from where we were going off in the chat, I didn't think we'd be giving possible opponents for Triple G and my brother Hopper making excuses. This is a beautiful day. I love it. Allergy Hopper is my favorite Hopper.
And guess what? For the first time in a while, Gringo is not retiring anyone.
I know, right? That's crazy.
Because that's your boy, and you're still
your boy.
Right.
No, Bruce Gas. These judges should explain their cards last night. Yeah. I had the same initial reaction when they read 115, 113.
Yeah.
I said, what?
I was like, wow.
What were they watching?
Yeah, we talked about that, Bruce. I mean, it's one of those things, but that's
boxing.
That's boxing, and boxing is going to be boxing. It's a sport that doesn't always stay consistent, and because the people aren't held accountable,
it's consistently inconsistent.
Right, that's the beauty of the inconsistency right there. Steven Ruiz, it's hard to keep the fire for being 40-year-old and just being paid 20 million. Absolutely.
Payday.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, payday.
Payday. You want payday. I know that.
Speaking of that, let's get to it, brothers. Let's get to it. All right, real quick. Our brother Bruce want to get to that again. Nobody was asking Hagler to fight at 40. Time for GGG to retire.
Bruce will retire him. There it is. There's the retire. Somebody's going to retire Triple G.
That's no shame in that. Payday. That's a great legacy. He's still the champ. He said it. I'm still the champ at 160. What a better way to go out. But as a fan, and you know that by heart, Bruce, as a fan, you want to see him one more time with that, the people around there at 160. And
Triple G, otherwise, I don't want to see him fight no fucking Calcium Ceresa.
No. You got to be able to fight Gennadiy. You got to be able to fight Charlo. Those are the two options. If you ask a fan, myself, I want Gennadiy or Charlo. Let's bring Charlo. I want PBC to start throwing their little people out here to see if they can.
Well, come on, Peter. Cinco de Mayo. Look, check it out. Cinco de Mayo. Jaime Munguia. He's Mexican. Triple G. Boom. Canelo's not fighting on that card. Canelo, Triple G versus Jaime Munguia. Cinco de Mayo. Make it happen. I'll tune in.
No, but do you think Oscar will? I mean, do you think they'll put Jaime Munguia
at this point in their career because of where they think Triple G is at? Yeah, I mean, and if you're not going to strike with Jaime Munguia, one of the most protected fighters in boxing, Come on, man.
That's what I'm saying. He's not gonna. I mean,
super protected.
He's gonna. Jaime Munguia is going to wait for a title to be vacated, and that's where he's gonna go.
Jaime Munguia and Jamal Charlo are the most overprotected fighters, and they're in the same division, which is crazy.
Yeah, which is crazy.
It's sad.
Yeah, but if they did announce this fight, this is how I'd react.
Qué lindo, él dijo responda. ¡Ay, mierda!
My.
How important is it to you, though, to avenge that loss? No, it's very important for my legacy, for me, for my club, for my country, for my family, for everything. It's very important, and I will beat him.
All right, so that's interesting.
That crown, though, man. That's a badass crown.
Things on glow. That's from that Hennessy crown. Shout out to them. So the thing is that it led to another question that I thought was really in depth, because it does seem like people are kind of just thinking Bivol's going to beat Zurdo, and there's no guarantee.
Hell no.
There's no guarantee.
That was going to be my final thought, but you brought it up.
We'll get to that in a minute, because I want you to have your thought and have a clear head for this response, and I want to hear from the chat as well. Shout out to you guys listening on the audio version as well.
You have talked about the Bivol rematch next, but you've also said you hope Ramirez wins that fight. And if Ramirez wins that fight, you don't want to fight him because you're both Mexican. So at 68, the best fight looks like you and Benavidez. He's born in America. He's half Ecuadorian. So does he count as Mexican, or that fight can happen if in the future?
I don't know. Anything can happen,
But that won't be a reason why I can hold it up that he's Mexican. That,
like when I guys, always I say this, you share that video and put whatever you want. When I say I don't want to fight Mexican, is because I represent Mexico, and that's why. But I don't care. I fight anybody, and I fight all my entire life anybody. What do you think? I don't want to fight with Juan Mexico or Benavidez. But look, I hear his dad talking a lot of shit. But look, what he's accomplished? Nothing. One single champion, Anthony Dirrell. Please, don't disrespect myself. Please, guys.
Hey, shout out to the English. He is getting better in English. He just laid it out right straight to everyone.
All right, so we want to go ahead and hear from our brother Hopper, because I want you to answer that directly, because we know that, as he said, clips of this, clips of that, and he's referring to the comment that he made about won't fighting Mexicans. So it was asked directly, and it was asked in kind of sarcastic way, because Benavidez is half Ecuadorian, so does he count? So I mean, they were kind of being a dick about it too, because I know I speak fluent sarcasm. I have daughters, so I know how it goes. You all do. So what's your thoughts hearing that, Hopper? And we'll also love to hear from our brother, man.
Hey, I thought that was a fire response by Canelo. You could tell he had a little bit of passion in it, man, but he's right. I mean, man, guys, these are boxers. They're not scared to fight anybody. They're the ultimate warriors in the human race, bro. They're scared or won't fight anybody. I mean, I think maybe what people always do with Canelo is they take things out of context, and he really fought just Chavez. He fought Chavez Jr. He's fought a bunch of Mexicans already. I think what Canelo said was facts. I mean, look at David Benavidez. What exactly has he done to put himself in the conversation as far as he has Charlo and Planter in his stable, and they won't fight him? Come on, man. Make these fights, elevate your name, do what Triple G and Daniel Jacobs did. They fought each other. They both got the Canelo fight. It's that simple.
No, good stuff, brother. Manny, what's your thoughts? Anything you want to add? Anything that stands out to you from either of those comments? I know that our brother Hopper is chomping at the bit to kind of talk about the dismissal. Zurdo's not getting no love. Everybody thinks Bivol is the next thing for sure. But as far as specifically to these comments that were made by Canelo on Benavidez, what's your thoughts, brother?
Well, I mean, there's no question the fact that Canelo is very patriotic. He loves his country. He loves Mexico. He loves his people. He has respect through others. And sometimes people take things out of the content and they put whatever they want. And I salute to that. Second, amazing directing himself that way, expressing his feelings in English. That's great. That's a huge point. He's learning because you know what? After boxing, there's a lot of stuff behind that you can do after boxing. And hey, broadcasting will be something amazing that people will love to see him. I'm glad he's speaking well English and developing himself in that. But on the other hand, guys, you guys don't understand, man. It wasn't Canelo's fault that he couldn't fight Benavidez. Benavidez did it to himself. Does he have to pay over and over and over to finally get a shot? Listen, he didn't make weight for that fight, and he lost the belt. That was his fault. The game plan was to Canelo sweep the 168 with the WBC included, and who was the champ at that time? That was Benavidez. He was part of the plan, and Benavidez messed up, didn't commit, and didn't make the weight, so he lost it. Tough luck. You have to wait. Now you have to prove himself. Canelo doesn't have to be squishing behind every people. Or everyone else needs to be talking about Canelo because they want an opportunity. But like my brother Hopper said, you need to start fighting your in-house guys to make a name. And Canelo is in the driver's seat to pick whoever he wants. And whoever he's going to pick next is going to be a fight that's going to elevate him to the next level. Not a fight that he's going to put them, in just
Anthony Durrell.
He's not going to build to his legacy. And I'm sorry, I'm not trying to. A lot of my friends, they're like, man, you're so confused about you're a Canelo fan. You're not. Canelo is great for the sport of boxing, but I call it like it is. And like it is right now, he's on the driver's seat. He's a champion. I don't see him right now stepping up to the number one pound for pound. However, Canelo, is back.
Man, well said. And we actually got some actual footage of Canelo reaching out to one of the fighters to see if they want to make the next fight. Let's get to it right now.
Bitch, you want to make some motherfucking money?
That's what I'm talking about.
Damn. Hit him with the South Park. Bitch, you want to make some motherfucking money?
Yeah, that's what I'm talking about. Let's get to it. So just real quick, let's go ahead. Predictions. Go ahead and put it in the chat as well. Thanks for guys tuning in. We got a good crowd in there today in the audio version. We love you very much. Guys, 160 champ, guys. Still 160 champ. Real quick. Hopper, right now, water gun to your head to help with your headache of your allergies. What is your prediction? Who will Canelo fight next? He is fighting who next? Not Wayne.
It's hard to predict right now because, like I said, he's probably going to be off for a year. Too many moving parts right now in boxing. Hopefully things clear up a little bit by then, and someone will emerge. Ideally, I would want Benavidez to fight Charlo. I would want Benavidez to fight Plant. I would want just something to make it clear, make it interesting. Canelo can't fight everybody. Come on,
that's true. No, that's true.
I don't know. I don't know who Canelo's gonna fight next. So maybe this is, like I said, a blessing in disguise. Let the boxing landscape adjust itself a little more clear, and then we'll take it from there.
Hey, that's a fair thing. Manny, what's your thoughts, brother? Anything you want to add on that?
I feel the same way. I feel like Canelo, even though if he didn't have his wrist hurt or needs surgery, whatever, regardless of that, he needs to take some time off with his family, enjoy his freedom, enjoy everything that he's accomplished nowadays. However, this is no secret to anyone that the real fight Canelo wants, it's not down below. It's above. Canelo, it's going to be looking at what happens Bivol against Zurdo Ramirez, and definitely he's going to be rooting for his countryman, for Zurdo. But if Zurdo loses to Bivol, then that immediately Canelo will step up, because there's something that Canelo has, and he wants to avenge every single loss that he has had. If he can come back and fight against Mayweather real quickly, he would have done so. But that was done, right? However, let's look at the reality. When something bugs you inside of you until you don't look forward into taking away what bothers you, and it's the loss of Bivol for whatever reason, and we know for a fact that Canelo feels it was part of his fault that he didn't perform the way he typically performs, he's going to go after that. That's called being challenged. That's called taking risk, and Canelo has done so. That's the priority. But if the other scenario happened that Zurdo beats him, Canelo's still going to be in the driver's seat, and he's going to wait to see how things shape in the 160. Who wants to come up here? Because clearly there's nobody at 168 other than Benavidez that can actually match with them. I would hate for Canelo to fight any of the other I don't know, mandatories that makes no sense. 168, it has to be Benavidez, or even is it too soon for David Morrell? I don't know, but Canelo's sitting pretty. Enjoy yourself, man. Got a great victory.
Yeah, I'll go ahead and say, and I've been saying for years now, it's got to be David Benavidez. If he's at 168, the haters are going to continue hating and not giving the proper respects, even though what has he done? Hopefully the landscape does allow a fight to happen. I know that Plant, you can say what you want, but he's fighting Darrell. So what does that leave for Benavidez if he's not going to fight Charlo? I would hope that, either a Charlo fight or Benavidez fight is in the future of Canelo at some point in the very near future. Speaking of fights that were being thrown out there like a carrot being dangled.
What's next? Oh, well, everybody know who I want next. I want Terence Crawford next.
Do you really? I mean, I'm not really sure if you do.
Dragging on.
Let's see what...
he thinking the big picture. Like, if I take a chance like this, I need to be getting paid as much money as possible, just in case if I lose.
Okay, so yeah, clearly Crawford is a psychiatrist that can read people's minds. Okay, that's good to know. I had no idea about this because clearly both guys are in this mindset.
No, this whole thing, all of this, it's all about me.
Yeah, it's the biggest fight in boxing that we're never going to see and that no promote. All right, so we got another circle jerk from the ESPN Coppinger. Thanks for this, sir. All right, so they're saying that the November 19th, close to my favorite holiday, Thanksgiving, eat and watch football. So it's a mega fight that was agreed to in principle, but not by lawyers. So that means you have basically an empty invite. What are we doing here? Like,
bro?
What's going on?
Bro, when that came around, what was it, on Wednesday or Thursday when it was circulating, the internet lost its mind. Oh, they agreed. And they ain't signed shit. What the fuck does that mean? They agreed to the terms of, okay, I can agree to do something. I mean, you're actually going to do it. I'm not going to believe that fight's going to happen until both guys are in the ring on fight night.
Yeah.
Because, man, that fight has so much voodoo at this point. I'm tired of hearing about it. I didn't want to ruin anybody's parade, so I kept my mouth shut. But just because they agreed to something, I mean, shit, boxing, especially in boxing, I'm tired of talking about that fight, man.
No,
when it happens.
Yeah, I mean, it's definitely we talk about this fight expiration date, but it was the third fight. At least they fought multiple times. This fight is reaching its expiration date as far as like saturation and overload of information. Like, we're hearing everything about it, and then like now people are reaching as far, oh well, I'm hearing this guy wants this, and this guy wants M&Ms in his locker room. This guy wants 35%. This guy wants. Who cares? How this is what my source says. All you guys are full of shit. Bro. You're not going to fucking fight. How about that?
It's funny how the people in the comments are like arguing, or fans are arguing about these guys' purses and money, and he should be the A side. His name needs to be first. Like, what? I don't care about that shit, man. Just get in the damn ring.
Yeah, absolutely, man. Those guys are just...
And this is where I feel like some of these boxers have lots of regrets in the future when fights like this don't happen, and then they're like, man, I should have, could have, whatever is 35%, you get 65. I'm the A side, I'm the B side. I think they have a lot of these things already set down in paper. It's just the contract, they're micro, magnifying glass, looking at every single detail. So none of these guys get stabbed in the back all of a sudden. Wait, hold on. I mean, and a lot of people think, well, what can it be in the contract? Rematch clause? It's going to go in Nebraska now if Crawford wins, or I get 65, 35, 50, 50, I get my pay-per-views or whatever. Oh, I need this kind of judges. I don't know. I'm not anyone that understands boxing contracts, but at the end of the day, both camps do want to make sure that that contract it meets the expectations. And so, yes, is it being crappy because the fact that we can't see what people are seeing in Crawford, having him active and being able to showcase the talent that people are seeing from him? I am one of those that I'm waiting to see Crawford. I want to believe in Crawford. But on the other end, is like, is it Spence holding back? Is it Spence too much over the head? Is it because I have my titles? Is it because I've fought more people? I got better resume. We need to stop the nonsense. These guys need together. need to get together inside the ring as soon as possible. But I'm not going to be every single day looking at social medias or looking at the news to see what's going to happen. I've already not let it go, but I've already just put it to the side, rest in peace for until it comes out from the grave and we finally see both guys have agreed and signed. Guys, agreed to the terms and signed. And you and I both know that that picture will go viral everywhere when they're signing the contract. Until then, I'll continue to wait.
Yeah, I mean,
it's
just hot air, man. They're just wasting their time. So.
Don't. I mean, enjoy the fights that are happening right now. Enjoy some of these fights that are being made, and they're pretty good fights. And yes, we want to see it. I get it. We're anxious. Let them work that. We can't hype the fight more than what it is right now. Are they waiting because of that? It's a mind game. Okay, good. Let them play the game and let us just watch and cheer and see what happens.
I'll also say this real quick and call people out directly. Like, so if you follow these, and I'm not even saying we're something good, bad, or indifferent, but if you're following channels that like give different narratives and you do super chats, you need to be taking that super chat money and using it to like provide to like different boxing gyms in your area and provide to local fighters. Fuck those guys. Motherfuck both those guys straight up. All right. So those guys don't give a shit about you. They don't worry about you. They don't give a fuck about you. So I'm just saying those guys
doesn't care about me.
No, you thought he did? Those guys don't give a shit, man. Those guys are wasting your time. So I'm just telling you guys, they're both into it. They know what they're doing. It's just wasting your time. So keep giving your super chats away, wasting your time. If that's how you like to be entertained, by have people just circle jerk you around and give your money to spend.
Yeah. Hey, but we welcome super chat.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm just saying. So like, do what you got to do, man. But like that fight's not going nowhere. And then I guess I'm one of those guys too. Like I'm hearing that the pay-per-view, which is crazy. The pay-per-view is going to be like $100, $85. Like
ridiculous, man.
Come on,
They
man.
better put a badass undercard.
They won't.
They won't. Yeah, they won't.
And that's the problem. That's the problem. That these undercards
They'll
right
put
now, at
Pitbull
least
Cruz
some of you
and
guys
some
that
random
are
dude,
subscribed to the Zone got a discount for last night's pay-per-view. But if you think about it, I mean, we had some good fights yesterday, but they were not $75, $80 pay-per-view worthy. They're not. Yesterday, I'm sorry. I did enjoy a couple fights that I wanted to see. Pacheco, Cuyazo. I actually did see Aponte, which, by the way, very good prospect from Florida. It was a draw against Rios. I mean, yeah. And then Bam Rodriguez defending his title against opponent that gave him something. But I was waiting for another like a co-main event, like something big. Not to disrespect Bam, you're fantastic, you're awesome, but you need someone to plug in that can continue to bring in the fans and they can feel comfortable the next day. It's like, shit, I spent $200 last night, whether it's drink, whether it was a pay-per-view, whether it's food, whether it's friends over, but you can feel happy that like, hey, I spent it, pero complacido. Uy! Ya lo sabe.
No, absolutely, man. So let me get to these comments real quick, and then we'll go ahead and hear final thoughts from our brothers. So Clarence McLean says, I agree. I agree with you, brother. Hardest working man in the YouTube game. Also on IG, man. That the guy does some more interviews and interviews. Like, man, the guy's awesome. Much love. Nando. Hey, yo. Morning, brother. Everyone. Clarence McLean is laughing at me. All right, so as I deserve, because I got out of control, passionate. I hate when people get screwed over, man. You guys are getting played. Not you guys, the other guys. So, Nando Llamas, we got big fights coming up. Hopefully, AJ Fury, Bud Arrow, we're going to happen. Hey!
Tank Ryan.
Tank Ryan? Negative.com. That ain't happening.
No, you know, this is something, and we appreciate
but
it.
I like your enthusiasm.
No,
What
I say, it seems like the art of, and shout out to Don King, undercard has become
He's still alive. He's still around.
Oh, he is very underwhelming. Like we talk about it. To me, that's what separated somebody being a casual or like a really hardcore fan when they were excited about the undercard. But even myself, it's hard to get excited about undercard.
The best co-main event I think I've ever probably seen was for the Floyd Canelo when they had Lucas Matisse against Danny Garcia.
When he was the machine. Back when he was the machine.
That was fire.
Yeah.
That was
that's a good point about Steven Ruiz right now. I get it, Steven. You got a really good point. However, Just one fight. He's not gonna do it. I mean, if you think about something, all right, you're competing right now. Boxing doesn't have any competition this side, but you are actually competing against UFC. If you think about what UFC is doing for your pay-per-view, you get your money's worth and more. That's what.
All right, I won't go that far. They're losing ratings too. I mean, combat sports.
No, but still, they give you, man, they give you a lot. Last night, man, they had some fights, and before we started watching the zone, we were watching some of the fights. We're like, wow.
All right, name the guys, name the fighters off the top of your head.
I have no freaking idea.
Exactly, that's what I'm saying.
Wow, what a jerk!
Well, no, it's like there was blood, and there was like hate, and there was like fighting.
All their cards you have to pay for them, and they're not all name recognition. So combat sports as a whole, but I hear what you're saying. Like they do provide more consistent quality, and that's what your point is.
Yeah, exactly.
I hear what you're saying. All right, so man, getting back into it, nothing to do what to do with. Remy, my guys, IBFB offered to go to the physical therapy, and he's in Texas. All right, with you. All right, Clarence McLean. Will you guys ever do a live show outside of the day? If there's a big fight, yeah, absolutely.
We thought about that for one of the Canelo fights.
Yeah, absolutely.
I think we did it. We did it to Lomachenko. We did it also, you know.
Oh, that's right. We did Edgar Berlanga, right?
Yeah, we did Berlanga.
I was in the parking lot at the hospital.
Yeah. Well,
I think he means like remote, like at the fight or something.
I just feel like that day we are so sober, the day of the fight, right? That we want to make sure.
No,
the next day when we look at the reason, it's like, what the fuck was I talking about?
Talking nonsense.
Canelo beat 12 rounds. That was Hopper last night. 12-0. Just say, let me wait until you sobered out tomorrow, Hopper.
All
right. So yeah, we are fighting with our Gatorade and Stay Hydrated today. So Stephen Ruiz says UFC gets away with that because they are under the same promotion. Exactly. You know, it's true. It is what it is. But you know, you can't hate the player, hate the game. Nando Llamas, shout out to you, brother. Nando Llamas also says my favorite card was Pacquiao Morales 1. Hussein Arce was fired, the greatest undercard ever.
Very good one.
El Travaso. You know the one. Ironically, people probably laugh at it because I know people aren't as high on Mikey Garcia as they once were. But the one I went to in Corpus Christi was the best one I saw live. That was the introduction to the Axeman. Boo Boo Andrade made his appearance.
Nicholas Walters.
Yeah, Rex Walters was on there. Boo Boo Andrade made like his like appearance first time on HBO. Also, you had Nonito Donaire versus Darchinian 2 was on that card, so that was pretty
nice.
Cool. Yeah, but I'm saying like I just know that off the top of my head. Like, and I'm sure if I look closer, I remember there's like another good fight on there too. But those days are gone, brother. And it was weird too. Like I remember Baptista was there. Like it was a crazy day. So anyway, Nando Llamas, Remy, yeah. So let's go ahead and get ready to close things out because you know football.
Yeah, we got football. Hey, it's already football started already, man.
All right, so let's go ahead and go. Let's go with final thoughts.
Yeah. Hey guys, last night was Canelo Day. It was an event. Hopefully everybody enjoyed it. Surrounded by people that you love and you appreciate in your life. I know I did. I was shout out to my friend Lalo and his wife Noreida for hosting us. For having us over there and the surprise birthday cake you guys did to my wife. It really touched the hearts. Thank you. Hopefully everybody enjoyed the fights, or if not, or enjoyed the people you were with, because that's what it's all about ultimately, is getting together and enjoying these events, especially when Canelo fights or when these big boxing finally get some of these big fights going down. So my final thought, Zurdo versus Bivol. I don't appreciate how Zurdo's being written off as another nobody, but that's the fight that's circled on my calendar. So Zurdo Ramirez versus Bivol, November 5th. And it's looking like it's going to be an early afternoon matinee. So can't wait for that one, baby. Revancha para Mexico.
All right, great stuff. Manny, final thoughts, then we'll get ready to close out.
Yeah, I do agree with Hopper. I'm glad you guys enjoy your time with your families and your friends, your loved ones. I want to send a shout out. He always says that I never, ever send a shout out. He just don't listen. But Al Tío, David, mi tía Cinia, hosting up, a little get together with my girls last night, watching the fights. Very good critic. We enjoy ourselves watching the fights. You know, of course, we were making fun of some of the, J.C. Penney belts and, Macy belts. And, oh, that's another belt. Oh, that's another belt. Oh, that's another belt, right? But the last two fights, they were real belts, world championship class belts, and this is what's all about. It doesn't matter. It's craziness in the boxing. We don't understand it, but what we do understand is that we have entertainment and we have people around us that we love so much to be part of that. Whatever you do, stay safe. Thank you so much for, tuning in with us as always, giving us the support that we need to continue to bring some, craziness into your Sunday mornings. We're not the breaking news guy, breaking down like it is, like it should be as a fan perspective. Thank you so much for being here. Hey, Vivo Ramirez, that's going to be a good one. My next one on the list. Hasta luego.
Yeah, absolutely. So well said, brothers. And thank you guys again for tuning in. Like I say, and it's truly coming from the heart, mi corazón, that nothing is more important than actually spending your time. It's more important than money. Your time is everything. That's all you have. So you guys spending your time with us means the world. We have the utmost respect for those that are listening and those that are in the chat. Special shout out to a big supporter who supported us from day one. Astara, you are the best. Thank you so much for always continued support. And
Awesome.
thank you for all the love.
Astara, we love you. Thank you for your support, man. From the get-go.
Yeah, for real, from day one. So thanks for everyone for holding us down. Bruce, man, you're my hero, brother.
That's
One day I'll
funny,
be like
G-Funky. You scored a draw, bro. What's up?
Let's go.
You got some
Funky, a
explaining to
draw.
do,
I
G-Funky.
can't wait to see your post-fight show, Funky, to see if that's right.
But like I always say, like I do love the pageantry, and it was a huge win for boxing. The biggest star was on the stage, and one of my favorite moments in boxing was the man Vicente Fernandez doing the Mexican national anthem for Julio Cesar Chavez.
His son was doing it last night.
Yep. So what an
His
amazing.
son was singing for Canelo as he walked in. Alejandro Fernandez.
Oh yeah, that's right.
Cool.
Right.
Yeah.
So that was a great moment, but not as great as this one. Love you guys. Have a great Sunday.
Fuera.
See you next time. Great week.
Top recording artist from Mexico, Vicente Fernandez.
Mexicanos al grito de guerra, el acero aprestad y el bridón, y retiembla en sus centros la tierra, al sonoro rugir del cañón, y retiembla en sus centros la tierra, al sonoro rugir del cañón. Ciñe, oh patria, tus sienes de oliva, de la paz el arcángel divino, que en el cielo tu eterno destino por el dedo de Dios escribió. Mas si osare un extraño enemigo profanar con su planta tu suelo, pienso, patria querida, que el cielo un soldado en cada hijo te dio, un soldado en cada hijo te dio. Mexicanos al grito de guerra, el acero a prestar y el gridón, y retiembla en sus centros la tierra al sonoro rugir del cañón, y retiembla en sus centros la tierra al sonoro rugir del cañón.
¡Viva